What is good, y'all? It is Anime K here, and we are back with another video, and today we're going to talk about why is this anime still underrated in 2023. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this anime, and this anime is called Erased, is because this anime is one of my favorite animes. I think when I first watched it, I was just mind blown. It is so underrated even today because I don't really see a lot of YouTubers making videos about this anime. So now I'm not going to spoil the anime for you guys because I want to convince you guys to watch it today. But what I will do is I'm going to tell you about the first episode, right? And I'm going to tell you why I like the anime, and then also debunk some of the criticisms that I've heard from it, just in case you guys hear them criticisms and it puts you off this anime. So first of all, right, in the first episode we're introduced to a 29-year-old manga writer called Satoru Fujiguro, I think his last name is. It's kind of hard to pronounce his name, but I think that's his last name, right? And one of the first lines he says in this episode is, "I'm scared to get to the heart of my own mind." And then we are cut to a scene where his manga boss is telling him, look, you're a good writer, but you need to get more deep with your writing. So what we are already showing with this MC is he has some baggage to him. He has something in his past that he wants to forget. So already, right, from the first scene, I would argue that it already hooked me in, and it already hooks you in so well. And I think we can all relate to the feeling of regret, and the feeling that we want to forget something, and the feeling of trying to forget a traumatic experience that has happened to us in our lives. So first of all, right, the character, he's so relatable. Even though he's 29 years old, I think even an 18-year-old could relate to this anime. Now we are cut to a scene where he's driving on his bike, right, and he is a pizza delivery guy. That is his side job that he has, because his manga work is not really going so well, so he has a side job delivering pizzas, and he has this ability called Revival. And what Revival is basically an ability where he can travel back in time 5 or 10 minutes in the past before something bad happens. So for example, in this scene, he's driving his bike, right, and he passes this truck. The truck driver has a heart attack and dies, and the truck is about to slam into a kid. You know, the classic truck scene that you see in every single anime, right? But Truck Kun, he doesn't win this time. He doesn't hit the kid, and Satoru, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologize, saves the kid, moves the truck out the way, right, and the kid survives. But upon doing this, another car slams into him and he ends up in the hospital. But luckily for Satoru, he only sustains minor injuries. So as he gets home, his mum is waiting for him, and she hears that he's been in the hospital, and obviously she was worried about him. It's his mum, she's going to be worried, right? And at night time, they see on TV that a girl has been found that was abducted, and she asks him, do you remember when you were younger and your classmates got abducted? So we kind of get a little bit of an insight into what he may regret. Maybe he could have saved these girls, maybe he could have helped them, maybe he was friends with these girls, maybe he could have even been dating one of these girls, we don't know. But we see he can't really remember, but he has a faint memory of a girl that was standing in a park. And later on we find out that this girl's name is Kayu Hizuki, one of his classmates that go missing, and an older guy who used to be in the neighborhood that he used to talk to. So say if, like, I don't know, you're an 8-year-old, there might be a man that you talk to that's in his, I don't know, 20s or something, right? This man was charged with her death and he was put in prison. But we see a scene where he's begging his mum and telling his mum that he doesn't believe that this guy is the killer. So already we see that he might have known something what have happened, or he might just really believed in the guy, but the police didn't believe him, and this memory always stuck with him, and he always regrets not being able to do anything to help the guy and save his classmate. So him and his mum are walking out of the shop, right, and his mum's just bought curry to cook for later, and we see his revival activate again, and he looks around because he can't see what's happening, because with his revival ability, it doesn't actually tell you what's going to happen, it just takes you back in time and you have to figure out what's going to happen yourself. So he's looking around, he's looking around the shopping area in the parking lot, and he can't see what's going to happen. But then his mum notices a guy holding a girl's hand, and she goes, did he just look at me, right? And he's walking off very quickly, and he drives off and leaves the girl, and the mum takes a picture of the license plate. And as him and his mum are walking home, we see the same guy following them home. So who is this guy? Could he be connected to what happened years ago with Satoru, or is he just some random guy that's just stalking the mum now and maybe wants to kidnap her? But we see a scene with his mum on the phone, and she goes, I want to come see you about something, and she even asks Satoru if she can change her train time. So what this indicates to us is she knows something maybe about what happened years ago, or she at least wants to go see someone about something. But the mum never gets to go see that guy because later on she is stabbed by a guy in her own home, presumably the same guy that was following her and Satoru home after they went shopping. And we see her go, oh, so it was him. We see her try reach for a phone, but the guy grabs the phone and quickly walks out. And then we get a scene of Satoru, like I just said before, when he's begging his mum saying it's not the guy, he didn't do it. So already, right, the first episode has done an amazing job at hooking you in, giving you an MC with baggage, right? His mum dies, so already it hits you with a traumatic experience right at the start of the episode. And 3, his mum knew something that happened years ago with the kidnappings, right, that she was trying to warn her son about, but fails to do so. Then Satoru comes home from work and sees his mum on the floor, dead, right, and then the police, for some reason, they don't even really try asking questions, they just try and arrest him, and he runs off and he is transported back in time to when he was a kid. And we see throughout the rest of these episodes that he has to try and solve the mysteries of the killings. 1, stop his mum being killed from the supposed killer that was kidnapping these kids when he was younger, and 2, save his classmates. Now, what I like about this anime, right, and I won't go into the rest of it because I don't want to spoil it for you guys, I want you guys to watch it because I wouldn't want my first time spoiled as well because it was so good. I just wanted to tell you guys all the main details that you learn in the first episode. But what I like about this anime is the mystery aspect. I think I like the fact that they had to find the killer and they had to find clues and help the girl out, because the killer was actively trying to kill Caillou, right, throughout this whole anime, so they have to protect her. I think that's why I like shows like Scooby-Doo when I was younger, because it's just the mystery aspect. Now obviously this is nothing like Scooby-Doo, it's miles better and has more depth to it, but just using Scooby-Doo as an example, the first criticism I see from this anime is people will say, well, it's just unrealistic to have kids investigating murders, right? I mean, how are these kids so smart? But the one thing I'll tell you, right, is anime is not realistic at all. I never got this criticism about the anime because anime in general is not realistic. When are you going to see people have powers, you know, like a Naruto? When are you going to see someone being able to teleport like a Minato from Naruto? That's just not going to happen, right? Or in any genre of animes, right, apart from maybe slice of life, where slice of life is the closest thing we have to normal life, hence why it's called slice of life. Even then, the slice of lives that are just not realistic to the real world because they'll have powers and stuff like that, right? So that first criticism never really sat right with me when I would see it, because I just thought to myself, well, anime is just not realistic in general. I don't think you should ever look at anime as something that is going to be realistic. I think you should just look at the story within the confines of whatever anime it is. Another thing people don't like is, and I kind of compare this to the Death Note moment when L dies, it's like a certain character leaves the show and people say that the rest of the 6 episodes are bad. So basically, right, a main thing with Erased that people will say is the first 6 episodes are really good, but then the last 6 are bad. But I disagree. Even when this certain character leaves, and I wish I could get into it, but I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but even when this certain character leaves, I think the author does a good job at carrying on the story, and it still has the mystery aspect, because at this point in the story, the killer hadn't been caught yet, they hadn't found it. Now someone leaves the story, one of the main characters does leave the story, but I think the story does a great job at still continuing it and does a great job at carrying on the story. And also, right, if you're into time travel like I am, animes like Steins Gate, like Tokyo Revengers, right, and Tokyo Revengers is very similar to Erased in where he has to go back in time to try and save someone. But I think what Erased does better than Tokyo Revengers is, I think obviously in Tokyo Revengers he's trying to go back in time to save a girl, whereas he's going back in time to actually stop people from dying. And another criticism people have about the anime is it's not that hard to figure out who the killer is, but I disagree. I think a lot of these people that are saying this, right, maybe you're right. Maybe if you watched Erased and you could figure out who the killer was straight away, I mean, fair dues to you, you have great analytical skills and you can just notice stuff easy. But for the most part, right, for most people that I've seen watch Erased that weren't even YouTubers that didn't make videos on it, they said it was one of the best animes they had watched, right? And it was definitely not easy to figure out who the killer was, because what the anime does a great job of, it bounces you around to character, because at first you think it's this girl's mum, right, because she's a very mean mom, right, she beats a kid, she's not a nice person. I won't get into her because again I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you think it's the mum at first, and you think it's this police officer as well. So the anime does a great job, I think, of bouncing you from character to character. Plus I think what the anime does is there is one moment in the anime where he actually fails and he has to go back in time again. So I like how it's not a story where he just straight away succeeds. He goes through a lot of troubles with it and he has to be very smart about what he is doing. And ultimately, if you watch the anime, he basically kind of gives his life. Now, he doesn't die, but he basically gives his life to protect these people. And another criticism that people have about this anime is at the end, he doesn't get with this love interest that people think he will get with. But the main point of this anime isn't that he wanted to be in love or that it was meant to be a romance story. I think the main point was him being able to go back in time and overcome the regret that he felt as a 29-year-old, regretted not being able to save his classmates. And you probably think, why would he regret it for that long? But regret, you can regret something for years and years and years. The feeling of regret can haunt you for years, and he always regretted not being able to save his classmates. Now, he wasn't particularly friends with his classmates, but I think if you could have prevented a death, whether you knew them or not, most people would feel bad about it, right? And all this coupled into a great storytelling anime, great mystery anime, right, a great thriller anime, is what I like about this anime, what really made me enjoy it, what made me put it in my top 5 animes of all time. Now guys, look, sorry this is a short video. I don't know how long this video is going to be, actually. I'll have to see once I edit it, but sorry it's a short video. But I just wanted to make this video to basically convince you guys to watch Erased, because Erased for me is one of my favorite animes, and I wouldn't be this passionate about it, talking about it, if I didn't love it. And I definitely think if you guys haven't watched it, watch it, because you will enjoy it. I'm also very interested to hear your guys' opinions on the ending, because a lot of people don't like the ending either. And I think the ending is a little weird, but ultimately it ends in a wholesome moment, right? But look, let me know what you think. Let me know if I convinced you to watch the anime. All I'm saying is, if you do watch this anime, you get a great main character, you're going to get a great story, and you're going to get a story that really flows and connects together really well. But this has been Anime K. Thank you for watching, listening, or however you choose to indulge in my content, and peace. I am out.